The underground fight world had never seen a clash quite like this. Under the neon glow of an abandoned warehouse, where sweat and blood paved the floor, two warriors stood face to face. Moon Lee, the elegant yet deadly wushu and taekwondo master, and Yuri Boyka, the undisputed king of brutal, no-holds-barred combat. Their battle was not just a fight, it was a clash of philosophies, of agility versus sheer power, of finesse against unrelenting force. The spectators held their breath as the fight began. Moon Lee was renowned for her lightning-fast strikes and acrobatic maneuvers. Her training in wushu gave her an edge in speed and flexibility, while her mastery of taekwondo made her kicks lethal. Unlike traditional fighters, Moon's fighting style was a dance, fluid, unpredictable, and mesmerizing to watch. She moved like the wind, never staying in one place long enough for an opponent to counterattack. Her strength lay in her precision and ability to anticipate her enemy's moves. She could land devastating kicks before her opponent even saw them coming. However, her main weakness was her lack of brute strength. Against a powerhouse like Boyka, who could take damage and keep moving forward, Moon's endurance would be tested to its limits. She had to rely on her superior speed and agility to outmaneuver him, because a direct confrontation could mean instant defeat. Yuri Boyka, on the other hand, was a completely different beast. His reputation as the most complete fighter in the world was not just talk. A master of various martial arts, including sambo, judo, and kickboxing, Boyka was a juggernaut of raw power and ruthless efficiency. Every strike he threw was meant to end a fight, and his pain tolerance was almost superhuman. What set Boyka apart was his ability to adapt mid-fight. He had an iron will, an indomitable spirit that refused to break. He was no stranger to fighting against quicker, more technical opponents, but he had always found a way to counter them with his relentless aggression. His greatest weakness, however, was his arrogance. He often underestimated opponents who relied on speed and strategy, assuming his power would always prevail. The bell rang and the two warriors circled each other. Moon was the first to strike, lightning-fast roundhouse kick aimed at Boyka's ribs. He barely had time to react before she was already launching another attack, a spinning back kick that forced him to step back. The crowd gasped. Moon was dictating the pace, staying just out of reach while delivering precise, powerful strikes. Boyka grinned. He liked a challenge. He threw a devastating right hook, but Moon ducked effortlessly, countering with a sweep that nearly took Boyka off his feet. The audience erupted as she continued her rapid attacks, her movements like a storm, unpredictable and deadly. Moon leaped into a spinning butterfly kick, aiming for his temple. This time, Boyka was ready. He blocked it with his forearm and countered with a brutal knee strike to her midsection. The impact sent Moon skidding backward, gasping for air. Boyka capitalized on the moment, closing the distance and unleashing a flurry of heavy punches. Moon managed to evade most of them, but one brutal uppercut caught her chin, sending her crashing to the mat. The crowd held its breath. Moon lay still for a moment, her mind reeling from the hit. But she was not done yet. Summoning every ounce of her agility, Moon flipped backward, dodging Boyka's finishing blow by mere inches. She spun low, sweeping his legs out from under him. Boyka hit the ground hard, but he rolled back onto his feet, grinning like a man who had finally found an opponent worth fighting. What followed was a breathtaking exchange, Boyka's raw power against Moon's precision. She struck from angles he couldn't predict, forcing him to waste energy swinging at empty air. For a moment, it seemed she might wear him down. But then it happened. Moon went for a flying kick, and in that split second, Boyka saw an opening. With lightning reflexes, he caught her midair and slammed her to the ground with a devastating powerbomb. The impact rattled the floor and Moon groaned in pain. Boyka didn't hesitate. He launched a brutal spinning heel kick that connected squarely with her jaw. She collapsed, unable to continue. The referee stepped in and the warehouse exploded with cheers. Yuri Boyka had won, but even he knew this was no ordinary victory. He extended a hand, helping Moon to her feet, respect gleaming in his eyes. She had pushed him harder than anyone had in a long time, and that in itself was a victory. Moon Lee had fought with the heart of a warrior, but in the end, Boyka's raw power and resilience proved too much. The most complete fighter in the world had defended his title, but just barely. As the crowd roared and Moon nodded in silent acknowledgement, one thing was clear: this was a battle that would be remembered for ages.